And welcome to the Kiosk Presents. We're heading into a beautiful summer season. Time to get out with family, maybe get out on the road, maybe even get on the road down to Watkins Glen and see a NASCAR race. And to talk about safe driving, I've got my thumbs up for the Thumbs Up for Responsible Driving program with none other than one of the greatest family names in all NASCAR history, Kyle Petty. Kyle, welcome to the Kiosk Presents.
Thanks for having me, man.
So tell us about the Thumbs Up for Responsible Driving program. Lots of families out on the road, and we really need to be cautious about distracted driving of all kinds. Tell us about that program.
Yeah, you know, you talk about Watkins Glen and racing. As a former race car driver, you know it's important to stay focused and keep both hands on the wheel. And I've teamed up with Motorola for the Thumbs Up for Responsible Driving program, as you mentioned. And basically it's to refocus everyone and say focus on driving, drive responsibly, and drive safely. And Motorola has hands-free devices. They have their Bluetooth headsets. You can go to Motorola.com to find out more about those products. But it's a great program that Motorola has gotten behind to just keep you focused and safe. As you mentioned, summer driving season's coming up. Kids are at home. So many more vehicles on the road. So many more kids out on their bicycles. Riding around through neighborhoods, that just looking down for a moment and then back up and something happens in front of you because you were texting, because you were dialing a number, because you were on the phone, can have catastrophic consequences. So I think when you look at that, for a company like Motorola to take the lead on that and to put this out there, and it's pretty special. It's obviously close to my heart because of the kids from Victory Junction and the camp that we have to keep kids safe, but this is a great program that they've come up with.
Well, absolutely, and I know myself using a speakerphone version of a hands-free device. Really, I believe Motorola's got speakerphone versions, they've got headset versions. There's so many varieties out there that can really be helpful to drivers these days.
There is, you know, and you know, we talk about racing and the safety aspect on the racetrack, and we talk about helmets and uniforms and things like that. You wouldn't get in a race car to run 200 miles an hour without all the safety equipment. You shouldn't get in your road car without the same safety check, and a hands-free device and a Bluetooth headset should be part of that safety check. You don't want your kids in the back seat, you know, in a child seat or talking and running around or messing around in a car as loud as it can get in a car with kids. And then you're on the phone with your sister or a friend or whoever that may be, or you're trying to text somebody. You need to keep your kids safe, and you need to keep other kids safe and other families safe. And that's why driving responsible and the Thumbs Up for Responsible Driving initiative is such a big initiative.
Absolutely, and I know we're going to talk about the NASCAR season in a second here, but you know, one other thing too, eating while driving is becoming a problem too. One guy got pulled over last week. I don't know if you saw the story. He got pulled over trying to eat an entire rotisserie chicken while he was driving.
That sounds like an obesity problem more than a safe driving problem.
Absolutely. Hey, can we shift gears? Let's talk about, I know you're an analyst now on the Speed Channel. You've got a couple great shows on there. But how does it feel to have the number 43 back on the pole?
You know, that was phenomenal. You know, I think last night, if you'd have been at the Speedway, the excitement of seeing my father there, Eric Almirola, his first pole, that was huge for him. But to have the Petty Enterprise cars, or the Richard Petty Motorsports cars, 1 and 2, it was a little bit like old times watching David Pearson and the Wood Brothers and Petty Enterprises and Junior Johnson and Bud Moore, the old style teams. And you hear so much about Hendrick and Childress and Roush and Gibbs and those guys. It's nice to see another team jump up there and get a little publicity.
No, absolutely. Now, can we talk a little bit about the season in general? I know we've had some really good efforts from Greg Biffle and Matt Kenseth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is doing really good this year. How do you see the season shaping up?
You know, it's hard, and it talked about this a lot this morning. I think you look at it, and we're only 10 or 12 races into the season, and it's a 36-race season, and we reset after 26 races. So, you know, at this point in time, we're not even halfway or a third of the way into the season. But as you talk, the Fords of Biffle and Kenseth have been extremely strong. Dale Jr. has just been consistent, just keeps knocking out those top 5s and top 10s. He's third in points. And we talk about Jeff Gordon and such a bad start to a year that he's had. Tony Stewart's had a couple of wins, and Ryan Newman with 1 win. So the Stewart-Haas team is another team that's kind of kind of showed that they can be competitive this year. So I think when you look at it, it's still kind of shaking out. When we get to about the midway point, when we make the turn at Daytona in July, then you'll know more about it. There's a lot of small stories right now, but nothing really big happening here yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting season, as it always is with NASCAR. Now, just for 1 second, I know you mentioned Victory Junction. I know you've got really the reputation of being one of the greatest humanitarian ambassadors of NASCAR. You've been a 2-time NASCAR Illustrated Person of the Year. And you also do a charity motorcycle run during the summer, don't you?
Yeah, and we just got through with our motorcycle run. We left Napa, California, and came back to Dallas this year. We've done the Cowpatty Charity Ride Across America for 18 years. We've raised about $14.5 million, and the majority of that money has gone to Victory Junction now, to the camp. But that's been a great program for us, but the camp's been phenomenal. Victory Junction, we've seen about 16,000 kids and families over the last 6 or 7 years. This getting ready for the summer season. Camp goes year-round here in North Carolina, and it's totally free to all kids that come. We've seen kids from 50 different states and from 6 foreign countries that have come to camp totally free, and that's been kind of special. It's in memory of our son Adam that was killed 12 years ago in a racing accident. So it's special to us, and to see these kids come and to see these families come and benefit from that, it's a really cool program.
Well, that's great. And you know, just once again this summer, I mean, with all the great NASCAR family names, the Allisons, the Waltrips, the Earnhardts, of course, the Pettys, you know, we really appreciate your focusing and getting on here on the Kiosk Presents today up in Buffalo, New York, and talking about safe summer driving. Mr. Petty, thanks so much for joining us today.